right, I am here at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show at the Absolute booth, and we are going to check out this brand new Navetta 70. Last year, we did check out the 75, which there's one of those right there, and that was a super popular boat on the channel, and I'm really excited to get into this one and show you guys what this one is all about. So you got a very large, expansive, high-low platform, a lot of stuff going on here too. This window pops up and just lets air in and out of that space down there, which we are going to get to check out momentarily. And you kind of got a feeling of a little balcony off the back there, as well as one up on the Flybridge, of course. So just really cool what they've done with this space on the boat. But lots going on down in there, and let's just get right into it. I'm excited for this one. So coming down in here, I just have to duck a little bit, being as tall as I am. So I should note there is a head right when you come in there, and it is actually a separate wet and dry head, so that's really cool. And that is because this could be a boat that you have a crew on, but also just based on the location of this right here off of the rear swim platform, there's your toilet, of course. That would just allow this to be used as a day head for the folks hanging out at the back of the boat. And here we are looking out that window. We could see from outside, so just real cool. You'd be water level there, but we kind of got docks in the way right now with where we're at. And one item of note, should mention, you get true washers and dryers down there. No one unit that tries to do it all. And they do give you a little refrigerator down here as well. If you flip this way though, I think we already saw it as we came in, but I do want to point it out. You got a single berth there. So that could just be for resting during the day if you choose. Or like I said, if you do have crew on the boat, that could be one of theirs. But also behind this door, you actually get a second little single bunk in there. So that could be a true crew cabin if you want to. Since this boat kind of is right up on the size where a lot of people will or will not decide to do an owner-operator style of running the boat. But there are some really cool features that make that really, really nice to do if you do want to do the owner-operator style, and we'll get into that as we work our way around the boat. But we are looking at, I guess, the main sub-panel, if you will. We do have a main panel up in the boat, which we'll see in a little bit. But that is the engine room. I am so excited to show this off. I'm actually going to dive into that area kind of the best I know how to with the knowledge I do have. So we'll just take a look here and nerd out on this panel for a second. So the screens at the top there. So we're just going to be on shore power currently. Those other two that are off, those would be if we were running on the gen sets, which we'll see those in there. We do have some, that's an inverter panel. I want to point that out because there is quite a few batteries that run quite a few things in this boat, and we'll see some of that as we step into there. So that's just our controls for now. So that's where all that's going to happen. But now we're going to go in here and see what it is all about. So we are greeted immediately by this Volvo Penta IPS 1350, and there is another one on the other side. I will note, I do have to duck a little bit, but where the hatch is, it's actually up a little bit higher there, so I can stand up straight with a couple inches to spare at 6'1", and I can just barely have to duck the rest of the way around in here. Super workable. So like I said, those are the IPS 1350s. Those are good for 1,000 horsepower each at the crank, and then that comes out to the shaft, which then goes to your, I guess, your gearbox there. That goes to the pod drive, so that's what we're seeing there. And I did mention the batteries and the inverter and all that stuff. That's what a lot of all these blue boxes around the system do. And there, in your inverters. So that's all part of the battery system. So that color coding is really important just to quickly be able to identify what you're looking at. That is going to be our main panel where all that electric comes in there. So real cool stuff to see there. Hiding below that is actually a gyro stabilizer. Very cool to see that hanging out there doing its thing. It's remarkable what those can do. On this side, that is going to be your auxiliary genset hanging out there. Above that is air conditioning. And if we keep looking around, fuel filters are mounted right there on the fuel tank on that side. And there's also the same setup on that side. So those are good for a total of 3,500 liters, which is a little bit over 900 gallons that you get in those tanks. But before we go check out one other little thing, I will point, that is where they're keeping the bulk of the batteries as far as I can tell. I do want to give them kudos for, you have the venting here, and actually, I don't know if the camera is going to fit. It does, but you can see the batteries in there. There's a lot of space around those. Good ventilation. Batteries do heat up under operation, so it's important to keep them ventilated, and that's something that the folks here at Absolute have done. But I just can't get over this engine room on this size of boat. I was on bigger boats today, much bigger boats, and I couldn't move around in their engine rooms anywhere as well as I could on this 70-foot nominally boat. So that's your primary gen set on that side. And that area there, I like to think you could set that up as a working area if you needed to. So that's pretty cool stuff that they give you that area to work on stuff if you ever had to do that. And then that is just going to be, I guess, that is a sub panel there. Not as much as the quote-unquote main sub panel we already looked at, but nonetheless, a lot of systems go through that panel. They're really getting into it here the best I can. You will note they do have a camera to keep an eye on things from up on the screens when you're down here, when you're not down here rather, as well. So I think just in the name of time, I could keep going, but I'm going to call it there, and we're going to head back out and check out the rest of the boat. But seriously, one of the best, if not the best engine room I've ever seen on a boat of this size, and it honestly rivals boats much, much bigger. This whole boat, I'm super excited to show it off. They've done such a good job with this Navetta 70. So we're gonna come right around here and help ourselves right up to the aft cockpit. And it appears to be raining slightly, so I guess we're just in time to get ourselves under some cover. So back here, we're gonna get to the business side of things before we talk about how it looks. This is fantastic. So it's a remote docking station. Yes, you've seen them before, but I was mentioning there's a lot of really user-friendly features for owners that decide to run this boat themselves. And this little Garmin display actually has little screens broken down as to where cameras are facing around the boat. On the left there is even a top-down 360 camera like you would find on a car. It's same with kind of a forward and backup camera. So you even get that at this remote helm, even when you're not at the main helm. So you can still see what's going on all around the boat, even though you may have an excellent view off the back of the boat here when you're docking aft to from there. And just because we're here, I'll point it out, there is that just a little side door there. So if you're docked alongside, you can take advantage of that. And then here is the seating area they've got set up on this. Set up for 4 right now. You could obviously do a couple different things. That there is freestanding furniture, so you're free to customize it and kind of do as you need there. So that's cool, they give you that option. Of course, the table wings, those will fold in. Those stairs would go down when we're not going in and out there. So that gives you access up both sides. And I'd be remiss if I did not point out some stuff going on here. So that guy, it's kind of hard to tell, but there you can kind of see that is a sunshade that would expand out the back, and you get some great coverage down here on this aft seating area just to keep you out of the sun, the worst of it at least, during the day. So there is that little bar area that we were looking at near earlier, and I just want to take a peek down here. So we're just going to have storage on that side, and this side, of course, a refrigerator, super important, and they even have little plug there so you can plug your phone in, you set a blender up at this station, whatever you need to do. But one item I do want to point out here before we go in, just because it kind of is carried throughout the boat, you can kind of see it. That circular pattern going on there, something that Absolute's starting to do on these newer boats, and I noticed the design language immediately. So wait, up there, had it there. So yeah, you can see that. You'll see what they've done with it here in a few moments. It's actually really cool. I'm excited to show it off. One of many things I'm excited on this boat. And I guess I should note, we're not going to go there. We were already down there, but that is that hatch in the engine room, so you could alternatively get to it through there. All right, and we are going to head on into the main cockpit now. I cannot wait to show this off. And boom, there it is. Like I said, there is that lighting language that we saw outside on the aft cockpit, and you'll actually find kind of just that language throughout the boat. But oh my goodness, did they outdo themselves with this? Like, that's just gorgeous. Like, oh, this, I can't even speak. I'm speechless. I just love the style. I love the huge windows. Just, they've done such a good job with this. It's just phenomenal. Really, really good area. there. You have to move that out a little bit, but they just, for the show now, they've got it out of the way for you to access. But you can dine with 6 there. And like I said, it is a owner-operator boat if you choose to do that. So this does have a galley aft layout that will take advantage of that. You can just obviously open those doors up a lot wider than one door like we came through and really open up the space. And I feel that just ties in so nicely when you have your aft cockpit with the galley and a dining area transitioning into the main salon space up there. And I just love the white finishes they've done on this. It's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, this counter is so cool. They found that piece and it just, oh, the split there and the coloring, and they have that same look in the dining room table, and then just, they've done such a good job. But we're going to check out a few things in here instead of just gawking at it. Of course, that is going to be a refrigerator, and below that is going to be a freezer, so fairly good size there. You do get a Miele cooktop there, and there actually is a little range hood there above it, believe it or not, and then they have the oven down below it. Just all sorts of stuff. We could get in every nook and cranny, but we'll just check that out. That's where some plateware is going to be. And for good measure, let's just look at one more. So just some storage below the sink. And flush, of course, so everything just goes right off. And just, I can tell by this countertop, it's durable. It's going to hold up. It's going to be easy to keep clean. So just important stuff. Gosh, this interior. Oh, but we'll carry on. I'll focus on what's at hand here. So that TV would go down in there if you choose to do that. I really love those little lights there. They're, I don't know, it's just cool. The slats they've got going on there, that style, excuse me, fantastic. Seating comfortably for 5 folks around here. You could squeeze in a couple more if you wanted to. If you wanted to, I suppose you could put some chairs over there, pull them over, what have you. But yeah, what a great job they've done with this. Like, it's just so spacious. It feels spacious. The light colors, it's so good. But another one of my favorite parts of the boat, this tour is going to take a while. I've got a lot to show off. I'm so excited for this thing. Really cool blue LED accents. You can kind of see it in there, and it's carried around there. And it's actually on the outside of the boat. It might be dark enough when we get outside to be able to see that. But here we are stepping into this pilot house area, and this is serious stuff. There are 4 massive Garmin screens here, and this thing is absolutely decked out. So you can see we got some chart plotters set up right now. You got a camera facing there, just a regular one off the, I guess that's, yeah, that'd be after the boat on that side. But over here is just a bigger version of what we were seeing on that tiny screen at the remote docking station. So you can see it's literally like driving a car if you have one with the 360 camera that looks down. You can see all around you there. And it's even got the familiar looking stuff you see like on a backup camera that's on virtually every car now. In fact, they've been required to have been on a car for a while now. So you can set those there. So it just really helps you keep an eye on what's going on. But and I'm going to sound crazy when I'm going to say what next, but the view from the pilot house down here on the main level might actually rival that of the Flybridge. And that's because it is actually further forward than the Flybridge helm, but we'll see that when we get up there. So just unbelievable visibility from the helm here. They've done such a good job at making this an owner-operator friendly boat, despite the fact that it is in the 70-foot range. So just kudos to the folks over at Absolute. And I didn't point out everything there, but there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's all kind of just separated into just what you need to operate the boat. Super easy. Really standard controls for the most part. A lot of systems will be controlled through those Garmin displays. And coming down here to our right is going to be the actual main electrical control panel. So that's going to run all of the, I guess, guest-facing systems, if you will, on this boat. And that blue's stunning. But, okay, the glass, that didn't help with the glare. I thought it'd look a little cooler. Blue just does not show well on camera. So this forward stateroom, oh my goodness. It's really cool how they've done this. This, of course, is the owner's cabin. I mentioned they carry on that styling throughout the boat. So there's that round feature once again. And before we check out this, I do want to point out something that's really creative. So if you'll notice, we only came down a few steps there. We didn't go all the way down. And it's because this is kind of set up like a split level house, if you will, because you actually go down another small flight of stairs there to get down to the guest cabins. So we'll check that out in a moment, but I just wanted to point that out. And they've outdone themselves again. There's those similar little round ball lights I was a huge fan of up in the living space next to the television, but similar color tones that you've seen in the rest of the boat. It's just absolutely stunning. And I'm a fan of these Galley. This is definitely not the Galley. This is the head, the owner's bathroom here, all the way in the bow area of the boat. It's good use of the space, as you can see. It speaks for itself. So just a ton of space there. And the way the sun is hitting right now, I have to show this off. It is just glistening there on the ceiling. It just looks so cool. But yeah, really large shower there. And of course, they have a very large and legit rainfall shower head. I love to see that. Very cool. But yeah, they've done such a good job. I'm still speechless. And more very large windows even there. And of course, there's a shade. It's the bathroom. You could close that. And then there are just huge window lets and tons of light. And it's just, what a view. Fantastic. But flip around this way, and it's going to provide the same view there. Just not shimmering right now, so it doesn't get the same effect. But behind there is just going to be closet space on that side of the boat. But we got some guests that are going to check this out, so we're going to work our way around and let them do their thing. So we're back up here on the main level, and we're going to pop out this nice little side door they've got here. That's actually great to have that. Just allows really good working access in and out of that side deck of the boat. So very cool to see that they've thought that out. So we'll pop that open, and we will close that behind us there. All right. And as you can see, this gives you a real good view of those windows that are more or less floor almost truly all the way up to the ceiling in there. So very cool. But I will note as we walk up here, one thing I always like to check out, and you know what, we're going to check it on the other side. I'm already heading this direction. But now we are up on the bow of the boat, and it's rather expansive. A lot of space up here. 4 legit sun loungers. You can put them up like that. You can have them flat like that. You got a bench seat there. Comfortably fit 4. You can probably squeeze a couple more in there. Of course, you can flip that table down and sit from that side, face each other, and really make good use of that space there. We're gonna head on up to the working space. So you got your windlass there, your anchor, and then there's gonna be lockers on either side of that where the road is stored down below there. But coming around this way, we'll show this off just because I like them so much. Little pop-up lights, kind of hard to see in the daylight, but they look fantastic at night. So yeah, they got that going on down there. And then it looks like we do have, I see spots for these guys here where you could put in some poles and allow you to put a sunshade over this front area as well. So just really lets you get the most out of the boat. And that's actually what's hiding in those bags. There are those poles and the sunshade right there. So that's what they got there. And this is just gonna be more storage for fenders, lines, that kind of stuff. And I think we can work down this side of the boat. I picked the wrong side. It's really windy. But we're committed. We're gonna go for it. Super wide side deck here. This handrail, truly waist high, and I'm 6'1". I can't even shake this thing at all. Super secure. I just like to take note of how I feel on the side of these boats, and it's just important to feel secure, safe while you're underway, or even if you're just hanging out at. All right, we're back in here at the staircase. It kind of appears we're teleporting around the boat, but we're just doing our best to stay out of the way of any guests checking it out. This is, again, like that split level I was mentioning earlier. This just looks cool. Despite there not being glass over your head, sun streaming in, it's still a really tall ceiling there, and they've got this cool little light fixture there. So just the even little touches like that, they've gone ahead and handled. We're gonna go forward, And there is not a stateroom there. Hard to believe, right, with the master above it. But it's kind of just a linen laundry area, if you will. And there is this door here that greets us. What's behind that door? Mostly storage. But however, there is actually your bow thruster motor is going to be there. It wants to focus on my hand, but that teal color piece sticking up, the cylindrical thing, that is actually the motor for the bow thruster there. And just storage, and I'm sure there's some system access as well in there. And I know there is, in fact, system access here in the form of just one of yet another electrical panel. So that's hiding out there. We'll close that up. But yeah, just a little working space up here, more or less. And they even got just little LED accents even on these little stairs down here. There is a chiller there, wine cooler, if you will. If that's what you want to use it for, they've got it there. So just a cool little added touch. And we've got that cabin there, and then one here, and one straight back for a total of 4 cabins on this boat. And we'll go this way first. It's rather standard guest stateroom as far as the capabilities go, but it looks cool. That's a really cool pattern. I'm not going to go over there and touch it, and it doesn't show up that great on the camera, but there's actually texture with the different colors there, and it's just cool. They did a great job. But these 2 single berths hang out in here. This does not have an ensuite, and I'll show you why in just a moment. It is plenty roomy in here, even where that ceiling drops down a little bit there. There you can see it. You still got a ton of headroom, so no concern for anybody as far as I'm concerned. TV there, and then behind this is just going to be a closet space there. So that's what you see there. And we are going to step back out here. And this is a rather unique thing. I don't know if I've ever seen any other boat laid out like this. So that's your head that guest cabin we were in, and this head share ensuite. So, and I guess also it's going to be your day head as well in this area if you're not using the one in the little area crew cabin, if you will, at the back of the boat. So this is set up currently. You got the 2 berths pushed together, making a double out of 2 singles. You can split them apart however you want to have it there. But yeah, again, similar design styling as that other one with that pattern. Very, very cool. I can't. I just stumble over my words when I try to talk about how such a good job they've done with the styling on this boat. And you get a really generous screen size there on your TV for a guest cabin, actually. So and it's got pocket doors. That makes it even better. Great use of the space down here. I guess that's really the only way you could pull this off without a bunch of doors just smashing into each other while you tried to open them. But yeah, great size there. It's appointed very nicely. Same styling tones throughout, just the light finishes, the whites, and some of the gold trim you may have noticed elsewhere throughout the boat. And this, of course, is just going to be your shower hanging there. So, not a rainfall, unfortunately, but still very nice shower there. And it's really cool. They actually kept like the wood tone grain going through the floor there, instead of just making all that marble look that they've got throughout the rest. All right, we're back at it here. Had some guests come through, so just wanted to give them the space and privacy to look through the boat, and then I'll get back to doing what I'm doing here. So once again, I'd be remiss if I missed it. There is that same round lighting style language that we've seen throughout the boat. That's just so cool. The camera doesn't even do it justice in picking it up. Again, you get that same pattern there behind that here in the VIP stateroom. Very well appointed VIP stateroom at that. So again, similar design language that you found throughout the boat. It just looks so good. Really cool, unique bathroom layout. They've done a lot of unique things on this boat, so we'll go check that out now. But before we do that, just flip around and point out a couple things behind us. There's a desk, makeup station, whatever you have you there. And then, of course, you're going to have a closet in that corner there. And so the head is kind of open. Why is that? Because they split up the toilet. The toilet on that side. If you flip around this way, you're going to have the shower on that side. And this one is, in fact, a rainfall shower head like you had up in the forward master cabin. So, very cool. Just really, I like it. I like it when it's done like this, split like that. It just really opens the space up here, especially with how they have that big rectangular almost square, but still just barely a rectangular window there. Of course, there's a shade you can put down there so people aren't just peering into your private quarters down here. But the view right there is excellent. That's just beautiful. I mean, these docks aren't that beautiful, but there's water, and you can imagine if you were somewhere that was a little more picturesque, vacation-y, if you will. We're going to head around this way and work our way back out here and find our way on up to the Flybridge. Got a few items to note I'd like to cover up there. All right, we're back out here on the aft cockpit and going to make our way up onto the Flybridge. It's a little windy, so I'm just trying to stay out of it while I talk for a moment. There is a remote head unit for the fusion system there, and to have some, and you also have some buttons for lights and stuff there hanging out. Can't see them all too well right now. It's still a little bright out, but there are little LED accent lights actually on right now going up these stairs. They're about to head up. So let's get at it. Let's head up to the Flybridge. Got a few things, like I said, I want to cover. As you come up here, you can see it is extremely expansive, actually. And it extends way back that way as well. I do want to point out the flexibility that you have with this space. It's pretty unique. All that furniture is not a fixture of the boat, and not even the dining table. So you can really configure this however you like. So sometimes it looks great what they do with the like built-in furniture. Like they got a little bit going on up there, but on some other boats. But then you're kind of stuck with what you got, and the most you could do ever would be change the upholstery. So a lot of freedom with what they've done here. Before we check out the bar galley space here, I do want to head back here and just show off the view off the back of the boat. So we'll help our way all the way around here. And yeah, so there we are, just looking over the back. That's where we started the tour, of course, but beautiful views you can get off the back of the boat here. Even at the boat show, absolutely gorgeous. So they've done such a good job. But we are gonna head on this way here and check out a few features hiding underneath this hardtop before we get up to the helm there. So here's our kitchen space, of course. Nice sink, really good sized deep sink actually. So that's cool. Proper use of the sink there. You're just gonna have this bar area here, and then hiding underneath of there is actually just a little cooler space there. So that's what you could use that for. This guy here is going to be where they keep the refrigerator. So you got a proper refrigerator in addition to that cooler space over there. And below here, you're just going to get some storage containers underneath the sink, and then just some storage throughout. And what would be a galley space without somewhere to cook? So there is your Kenyan grill hanging out there. They've got that cover on it right now, but there is your grill underneath of that. So, gotta have that. And I should note, you can kind of see get a good look at those little accent lights that they've got there, which just illuminate all around the edge of that countertop. But we're gonna head up here. And like I said, I was a little crazy when I tried to tell y'all. The view from the pilot house might almost be better than that up here on the helm. Because as you can see, the pilot house is actually there about 6 feet, 2 meters out in front of us. So you're just that much closer to the boat. But obviously, you still are going to have some advantages being up here on the Flybridge level when you're operating the boat. But you're not losing much if you do have to be down below as far as visibility goes. And you're not losing much as far as equipment goes if you're operating from up here on the Flybridge level. So instead of 4 screens, they didn't get as crazy. They gave you 2 large Garmin ones and a smaller Volvo one. And then there's going to be some other controls just for your Garmin systems on that side. And you got some more standard looking controls over there with the joystick control, your throttles, bow thruster, that good stuff. And the Fusion Audio, the head unit hangs out there. So they've just done such a good job with this. I had to look. It was bothering me. It's just some storage. Cool. Throw your phone in there. I don't know. Whatever you need to. But, yeah, I think that about covers this boat. So we're going to find a spot to wrap this video up. All right. I've decided I'm just going to finish up here. That was the new Navetta 70 here at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show by Absolute. And this is a really corny pun, but they absolutely knocked this one out of the park. This has been possibly my favorite boat I've seen at the show so far. If you want to learn more about this boat, come check it out yourself. I'll have information down below. The folks at Absolute would love to figure out a way to get you out to one of these shows or a dealer or some other way to show this boat off to you. They did such a good job. I can't say enough good things about just what I've seen on this boat today. Like I said, one of my favorites, but check out the description if you want to get a hold of our friends over at Absolute. I'm just going to cut it off there. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching.